All right. Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless you all. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. All right. Give all honors and praises to the Most High God of Israel, Yahweh, and His Son Yahweh Shah, and His Son Jesus Christ. Shout out to all Israel keeping the Sabbath day holy, gathering, right? Doing what we're supposed to do on this day, right? It started off with a prayer for the Sabbath, right? A psalm for the Sabbath, I should say, right? Psalms 92. Did that?
It's the book of Psalms 92, starting from the top. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praises unto your name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings and upon the psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For you, Yahweh, has made me glad through your work, and I will triumph in the works of your hands. O Yahweh, how great are your works, and your thoughts are very deep. A brutish man know not, neither do a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But you, Yahweh, are most high forevermore. For lo, your enemies, O Lord, for lo, your enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall you exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of your Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that Yahweh is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him.
Right? All praises, right? That last line is always heavy, because guess what? It says if there's no unrighteousness in God and God is in us, that means there should be no unrighteousness in us, right? Just a quick side note on that, to prove all things before we get into it. 1 Corinthians 3:16, one of my favorites. Right? Because if there's no unrighteousness in God and the spirit in God lies in us, what does that mean?
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16.
Just 16.
Just verse 16. Know you not that you are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwell in you?
So the spirit of God dwells in us, and there's no unrighteousness with God. You got to remember, when you sin, when you do unrighteousness, you bringing that unrighteousness to Christ, right? It's almost like you chilling with your mans, and then he bring a crackhead in the circle. You're gonna be offended. Why? Because you don't roll with that. So we look at the same thing with sin, and that leads right into it. Let's start it off, man. Sirach 2, and start at verse 1. We're gonna break it down. Sirach 2 and verse 1.
This the ready?
Someone answer. Right?
This the book of Sirach.
Derek, answer.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation.
Right. So now it says, prepare your soul for temptation. Right. So we got to think about this, right? If we look in the scripts, how many people was tempted by the Lord? Not by the Lord, excuse me. Right. By Satan, right? In our own sins. Because real quick, let's go to the book of James. I didn't have this written down. It just came to me through the Spirit. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 13. Right? Who tempts us? Right? What is temptation? Is it, you got people, they be in the world and they'll say, man, The Lord is tempting me. No, the Lord don't do that. Right? He tests you. He's not tempting you. There's a very big difference. So we're going to touch on that.
James chapter 1, verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God.
Let him say what?
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God.
So it's not the God tempting you. Who is tempting you?
For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
Right? 14.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Of his what?
Of his own lust and enticed.
So it's you. It's that demon, that sin inside of you that's tempting you. Right? The Most High is not. It says you can't be tempted with evil. Right? What happened? We're going to go into it when Christ was tempted. Right? Need the next verse?
Verse 15. Then when lust have conceived,
when you give into it,
it bringeth forth sin.
Mm-hmm.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
So that's just like with Judas. We're going to get into that with Judas Iscariot. Right? As soon as devil hopped in him, right? Satan into him, and he did what he did. As soon as he left, what happened? He wound up killing himself. Right? And that could lead to a spiritual death. Right? A death in the sense of, now your fire is extinguished. A death in the sense of now, you're not gathering no more. You're back in the world. Right? You've killed the new man and you resurrected the old man. You did the opposite. Right? Read on.
Verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brethren.
Do not err, my beloved brethren. Right? Don't slip up. Right? Give me Job 23 and verse 10.
It's the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10. But he know the way that I take when he have tried me.
Now notice, you don't get tempted, you get tried. Right? Because the Lord wants to, he wants to test you. Right? It's not to say that he's putting you in these situations because he knows you're gonna fail. Is that he's giving you a way out, a way to succeed. Give me 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 13. Actually, start at 12.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 12. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall.
So, there's no one, don't think anybody can get touched in this truth. Anybody can get touched in this truth, right? There's no, super duper righteousness, anyone can get touched, guy, because we all born into a sinful nature, right? We all have that corrupt seed in us. Read on.
There have no temptation taking you, but such as common to man.
So everything another brother is dealing with, that's why we shouldn't clown brothers, for what they're going through and things like that. Because you know what, you saying all that, but you dealing with the same thing that brother's dealing with probably. Except the thing is that brother might have the strength to admit it to the congregation, right? The strength to not only get corrected in front of the congregation, but to repent afterwards. That takes strength. That takes character, right? Read on.
But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able.
Now, notice, right? Now, this is because you might, the scripture says God's not going to tempt you. What this is saying is he's not going to, because when you come in this, we all dealt with things before we came in this truth, right? You came into this truth, the Lord cleansed you. A lot of the things you used to do left you, but not everything. Why? Because that's something you have to overcome and deal with and battle. You might have a brother who, when he came into the truth, stopped smoking instantly. You might have another brother, that's something he's really battling. Everyone's going to have different levels, right? Because guess what? That's your walk. That's your battle that you have to do daily. Read on.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape that you may be able to bear it.
Why is that? Because guess what? Once you overcome your temptation, now you can aid brothers who are also going through this. You can teach on these things, right? Brother dealing with lust, you got ways. Yo, brother, let's do this, let's do that. Brother dealing with smoking, yo, let's do this, let's do that. Brothers dealing with covetousness, right? There's different ways you're able to help brothers, right? So they don't fall, so they don't have to succumb to the things you might have succumbed to. Or guess what? It's easier to fight a battle if you got someone fighting it with you, right? Give me Job 1 and 13.
It's the book of Job, 1 verse 13.
Oh no, I want 13. Go scroll down. Right, scroll down. Let me get there with you. I want I said 1, right? There you go. I want verse 8. Well, verse 8.
Verse 8.
Yes.
Job 1 verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job,
There you go.
that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared God and escheweth evil?
So it assures me he departs from evil. He doesn't deal with it, right? Do something evil around Job. Job's not gonna condone it. Job's not gonna ha 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 ha. He's gonna rebuke it, right? This is the Lord talking with the angels, or he's talking with Satan at this moment, right? Read on.
Verse 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Do Job fear God for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land.
So, we got moments in the truth. We got high moments in the truth. Things are going really well from you. And you know why? The Lord is putting that hedge about you. But then guess what? That temptation is going to come to you, right? It's going to happen. You are going to be put in position where you're going to have to fight for your spot, right? Prove to the Lord that you are the man you say you are, right? And the Lord's allowed to do that, right? Read on.
Verse 11. But put forth thy hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Right? So, all right, read on.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he have is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand.
Right. And so guess what? This is something you want. Give me Psalms 26. Right? Give me Psalms 26 and verse 2. Actually, start at verse 1.
Psalms 26, verse 1. Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity.
Meaning I've walked in these laws.
I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore I shall not slide.
Meaning I shall not backslide. Right? I'm not going to backslide. Right? Read on.
Examine me, O Lord, and prove me.
Do what?
Examine me, O Lord, and prove me.
So you have to prove yourself to the Lord. Prove that you earned, that you are worthy to be part of the elect, part of the 144K. Right? Read on.
Try my reins.
Try my actions.
And my heart.
Try my mind. Right? See where my mind is at, where my actions are at. Right? Read verse 4 now.
Verse 4. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers.
Read verse 5.
I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked.
Now you got dwell on that while I'm going focusing on that with temptation, because you know what, that vain assemblers and that congregation of evildoers can be people we love in our lives, right? I think I was telling brothers recently, my grandfather's birthday is coming up. It's his 70th birthday. My aunt called me, Jared, it's his 70th birthday. You're not gonna come this, that, and the third. Nah, I don't do that. Well, if that's your beliefs, my brother tell me, well, it's his 70th birthday. Surely the Lord will make an exception. He wants to, why would the Lord feel bad about family gathering? That's Satan trying to, right? Reel you in. But you can't. 26 and verse, we're at 2 and to 5. Right? So you got to remember, man, we can't sit with the congregation of even though I hated the congregation of evildoers. So it's something you got to train yourself to hate sin. Right? Whether that be families, friends, you got to be the party pooper every time, no matter what. Right? And just to show you, right, one of the greatest examples of being tempted, give me Luke 4 and 1.
Can I get the Psalms you read just now?
Psalms 26,
Psalms 26. Okay.
1 to 5. Start at verse 2.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 2.
Yes, sir.
Being 40 days tempted of the devil, and in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered.
Now hold on. Now keep that right there, but because right here it says he was tempted of the devil. But give me that now in Matthew. You're gonna jump right back to this. Give me this now in Matthew 4 and verse 3, right? Because it said he was tempted of the devil, right? Let's see what they also call the devil.
Matthew 4, verse 3. And when the tempter,
When the who?
when the tempter,
So Satan is the tempt. He's the one. He's tempting you. Big booty Judy hit you up. Long neck Stacy. You know, homie with all the weed in the world. You know, your wicked family member. You know, only wants to do evil. Right? Your man's in them who you know only wants to do evil. That's Satan tempting you, jumping on them to get you to do wickedness. Right? Jump back to Luke.
verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. And the devil said unto him, If you be the Son of God,
If-
command this stone that it be made bread.
So, you know, he's trying to get, he's trying to get your house shot, right? Christ. You use your powers for your own personal gain. Right? This is what this is going into. We have wisdom, we have power, right? In this world. You could, because guess what? You got people on the street, you got the Bible in your hand, they see the fringes, they'll believe anything you say. You know, you could lead them astray. You have a lot of power, right?
Mhm.
So guess what? That's Satan always going to tempt you. Use your power for evil, right? Almost like a damn supervillain, right? But here's what Yahushua said when the tempter came to him.
Verse 4. And Yahushua answered him, saying, It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God.
Right? So when he was tempted, he shooed him away, right? He corrected him. That's what you got to do when people come to come to tempt us, right? Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And the devil take him up into an high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. Verse 6. And the devil said unto him, All this power I will give you, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will, I give it.
Open the door for him. Right? So you got Satan. Oh, do me a favor, call do back. Right? So read that one more time.
Verse 6. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give you.
So Satan can give you power, right? He'll give you satisfaction, right? He will give you instant satisfaction, right? That power is going to be, guess what? Power over women, money, drugs, all those other things, man. But what you got to do? Read the next verse. What does he always want you to do?
Verse 7. If you therefore will worship me, all shall be thine.
Because what it tells you in the scriptures, if you commit sin, you are the servant of sin. Sin is your master, aka Satan is your master. Right? But here's what you have to do when it happens, right?
And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shall thou serve.
Right, there you go. Right now, give me verse 12 and then 13. Jump down to 12 and 13.
Verse 12. And Yahushua answering said unto him, It is said, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
So when you commit sin, because guess what? You're tempting the Lord. You're tempting his wrath at the end of the day. That's really what you're doing. You know, you think about it, we got to put things in logical sense. That's like if you got a son, if you got a wife, they keep doing things. You know, you're going to be patient, but after a while, you're going to put the foot down. The hell are you doing? Eventually, that's what the Lord is going to do. What the hell are you doing? And that could come in any way, shape, or form. You can't be tempting. You're going to move the grand creator that made the sun, the moon, the stars. He can do whatever to you. You know, it might be small. You get bit by a dog, and now all of a sudden you lose that leg because the dog has some kind of bacteria saliva, and you get this super rare case happen to you. I saw that happen on the news. I was like, that's judgment. That happened to Esau, so all praises, but it could be you, right? What it's saying, Luke, you could die the same death, right? Read verse 13.
Verse 13. And when the devil had ended all the temptation,
He ended all the temptation.
He departed from him for a season.
For what?
For a season.
So it's not just, this is Ali and Frazier, right? You're going to have fight 1, fight 2. It's gonna be multiple bouts.
Mhm.
Because guess what? It's almost like a level check, right? When you're ready to level up in this truth, man, it's gonna be like, well, see if he's ready to get what I'm ready to get. If he's ready to receive what I'm gonna give him, you know, you're gonna have that discipline, that self-preservation. The Lord's not gonna give you that increase if he sees you're not ready for it, right? Now give me Luke 22 and verse 40.
Luke 22, verse 40. And when he was at the place, he said unto him, pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Pray that you what?
Pray that you enter not into temptation.
And what's the Lord's prayer? Lead us, deliver us not into evil, right? Don't lead us into temptation. You're praying to not get led into temptation of your own lust, your own sins. You got to know what things you're dealing with and what to avoid, right? Some brothers might be able to do certain things. You got to know if you're a brother where yeah, it's lawful to drink, but if you got a drinking problem, when you drink, you're gonna turn into the macho man Randy Savage. Maybe just drink some water, right? Drink some grape juice, right? You got to know yourself in this truth, right? Now give me Luke 16 and Matthew 16 and 23.
Matthew 16, 20,
Actually, start at verse 22.
22. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him,
So
saying,
this is Peter, right? Christ just told him how he has to die, right? He has to suffer these things. And temptation came on to Peter. Can you imagine grabbing Yahweh, right? He took him, right? Grabbed by the collar. Peter, read.
saying, but be it far from you,
Don't do this.
Lord, this shall not be unto you.
Right. So he stepped out of line, right? Because you got to remember, you could lead your own mind could blind you. He just told him this has to happen. Now you're gonna snatch him up and shake him. Don't do this. You off as hell, right? We see that happen in our own homes, right? Those of us, who got ribs and people in our lives. I gotta go to camp. What do you see happen? Be it not far from thee. Oh, we're not celebrating birthdays. Be it not far from thee. Right? But here's what you got to do, verse 23, because you're going to have that temptation. You got to remember, Peter and Yahweh, right? Peter and Christ were very close. It's tempting to, I don't got to die. I could just, me and Peter, we could just run the town, man. Make bread in Rome, do this and that. You got to remember, it says Christ was tempted in all things like we were tempted, right? Read.
Verse 23, but he turned and said unto Peter, get thee behind me, Satan.
So he had the eyes to see Satan was on him, tempting him. So it wasn't just Peter being tempted, but this is Christ being tempted. Don't fulfill the prophecy. Stay in this world and do what you want.
Satan, you are an offense unto me, for you savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men.
Because that's what it is at the end of the day. You savor the things that are of men. You don't want to do what God wants you to do. You want to do what men want you to do, what your own sinful self wants to do. Right? Because then what happens? Especially you do it in secret. Nobody see me, man. Yeah. I'm about to boot up this porn. Oh no, the brothers is not around, man. I'm about to go do this and do that. The Lord sees your ass. He's gonna find you out. Right? Read on. I said, read on. Go back to Sirach 2, read verse 2 now.
Sirach 2, verse 2. Set thy heart aright.
It means set your mind aright.
And constantly adore, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right? Give me 1 Peter 5 and 7. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. 5 and 7.
Oh, it's a lot. First Peter 5, verse 7.
Bless you.
casting all your care upon him,
right?
for he careth for you.
So that's what it means, right? Set your heart aright and constantly endure. Make not haste in time of trouble. Cast your care upon him. You going through things? Cast your care. I remember when I had 2 jobs, right? I was making enough money. One of them was gonna force me to break the Sabbath. I had to drop my knees and pray, Lord, like I don't want to, please. Lo and behold, because I'm keeping the commandments and I endured what I had to endure, it said he's gonna act. Just read the verse up, verse 6.
Verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time.
In due time, you will be. He's not gonna forget you, right? He's not gonna forget you. It may feel like it. How you think that's what I just finished reading Job. How you think Job felt? It never says how long Job had the boils, but he endured it. He endured it. We don't know if it was for years. We don't know if it's for months. And it's not said because guess what? You just got to endure. You can't just give up when it's at its hardest. You use, like I can't do this no more. That's like someone digging for treasure and they like 5 scoops away and they, man, my back hurt. This is going nowhere. Had you just persevered, you'd have been increased at the last end, right? Go back to Sirach 2. Verse 3.
Sirach 2 and verse 3. Cleave unto him and depart not away.
So notice, cleave unto him. Don't fall out this truth for simple sin.
I just want to make a point. When it means cleave unto him, what does that mean, Joe?
Maybe I can do this word.
Well, yeah, but what do you have? What do you have to have for you to cleave unto him? Faith. No, that's it. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that you may be increased at that last end.
Right. Give me, I was just about to do a powerful point. I'm just about to touch on that. Give me 1 Thessalonians 3 and 4.
First Thessalonians 3 verse 4. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation.
So you're gonna suffer these tribulations, right? This is a guarantee. You serve the Lord, temptations, tribulations, right? Read on.
Even as it came to pass, and you know.
Right? So thing is, in those times of tribulation, cleave onto him. And how are you gonna be able through those tribulations cleave onto him? Give me Hebrews 11 and verse 1. Right? You gotta have faith.
Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Because you're gonna hope, you're gonna be in those, you're hoping for salvation, you're hoping for deliverance, you're hoping that the Lord sees your affliction, right? He sees your good works. It's not gonna happen if you're thinking about it. You in sin, talking, man, I hope the Most High has mercy on me. Would you give money to someone you know is gonna buy drugs with it? No, it's the same thing. Sin is a drug, right? Read.
The evidence of things not seen.
So you're not you can't see with your physical eyes the angels, right? Making the report. Can't see with your physical eyes. You're not gonna see the counsel of the Lord where he's, you know what, man? He did his bid. He's doing, let's exalt. You're not gonna hear that meeting. You're not gonna be present at it. You're not gonna get an email or a CC. You have to just have faith that you're gonna be exalted. Faith that you're going to be delivered. Right? Verse 4.
Verse 4.
Oh, excuse me. Sirach 2 and verse 4. Okay.
Verse 4. Back in Sirach, chapter 2. Whatsoever is brought upon you, take cheerfully.
Right now, take cheerfully. This is not now. Obviously, I'm not saying if your house burns down and your wife and children die. I'm not expecting you to be smiling. That's gonna be weird. But it's saying, be patient. Don't be that brother where don't have that woe is me spirit forever. Understand that the Lord is gonna increase you at that last end.
That's right.
You know, don't be that brother. Every time you see, we gotta play the world's smallest violin, right? It's not a good spirit to have, right? Read on.
Verse 5.
No, read on and be patient.
Oh, Salaki. And be patient when you are changed to a low estate.
And this happened to us as a nation. We are in this low estate. Give me Baruch 4 and verse 25. Give me Baruch 4 and verse 25.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from God. For thy enemy have persecuted you, but shortly you shall see his destruction and shall tread upon his neck.
So we're gonna see the destruction of our enemies. What we read earlier in Psalms 92. My eye shall see the destruction, my ear shall hear it. So we're promised these things, but it's not gonna happen on our time. It's gonna happen on the Lord's time, right? Give me Job 13 and verse 15 now.
Job chapter 13, verse 15. Though he slay me.
Because guess what? What is the Lord? He's in charge of the good and the evil. What happened with Job? Didn't he give the green light to Satan to do what he did to him? The Lord at the end of the day gives that green light. And it's to try you, right? To purify you. We're going to get into that in the next verse. Read this.
Yet will I trust in him.
Though he slay him, though is the Lord persecute, I'm still going to trust in him because he's what? Merciful.
But I will maintain my own ways before him.
Right? Because guess what? You know what you're not going to do? You're not going to go back to Job, right? Give me Job 2. Job 2 and verse 9. When he says, I'm going to maintain my own ways before him, this is what he's saying. This is what, when the opportunity comes, this is what you're not going to do.
Job 2, verse 9. Then said his wife unto him, do thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die.
Now, this is his wife, but you got to think about it. We have family members who do this, friends. You still with that Israelite shit? Man, you ain't getting no money, man. Man, I work 7 days a week. I'm making real money on this side. Oh man, you can't. Oh, you can't celebrate Christmas. What your kids gonna do then? You still with that Israelite shit? Man, forget that. You know, I had someone tell me recently, oh man, so you're gonna put your religion before your job? How you gonna work? How you gonna eat? I had to tell him straight up. Well, following God has worked for me this far. Well, why am I gonna stop what I know works? Why would you stop? Right? But here's what you got to do. Verse 10.
But he said unto her, you speak as one of the foolish women speak.
You speak like what Benjamin said. You speak like a blood clot idiot. Fool, right? You're simple minded. Because why? You're seeing the carnal things of this world. You're not seeing things spiritual. Right? Read on.
What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil?
Read that one part one more time again.
Shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips.
So he kept his ways, right? You're not thinking evil of God. You're not speaking evil of God. You're not doing evil. But what's that? See no evil, speak no evil, do no evil. That's how we got to walk in this truth. That's how we got to walk in this truth, right? Give one of the most famous examples of not keeping your way. Give me 1 Samuel, right? 2 Samuel, excuse me. 11. And start at 1.
2 Samuel 11, verse 1. And it came to pass, after the year was expired, at the time when kings go forth to battle.
Now, I want you, and there's some people, we always talk, this is with David, right? And with Bathsheba, with something people tend to skip is that it tells you It was the time when kings go forth to battle. Remember, David is he is the leader of Israel, right? Kings are supposed to be fighting right now. In the old times, this would be like around the spring and summer. Winter, you would generally nobody would be fighting. That's why you see a lot of military campaigns when people would do surprise attacks in winter, they would usually win because the enemy was not expecting it. So at his role at the time, he's supposed to be leading the charge, leading the battle. What did he do?
That David sent Joab and his servants with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem.
Now, just look up the word tarried for me. Because when you tarry, what are you doing? What are you doing when you tarry?
Maybe
What do you think it means? When you tarry?
Kind of contemplating.
Taking long. What you said, Joe?
No,
Taking long, you said contemplating.
Like worried. Maybe worried about certain things. I guess.
Just Google it.
Something.
It's just like, oh, for the whole time.
So like,
And Job and the wife responded.
2 and 9.
so
I want to give me it on Merriam-Webster. Tarry. When you tarry, it's you're being lazy, right? Like Joe said, you're taking long,
Yeah.
right? It's like you're dragging your foot, right? So read that. Tarry.
Stay longer than intended. Dwell leaving a place.
Delay.
Delay leaving a place.
Give me that third word. What's the
Procrastinate.
right? Wait, lag, dawdle, right? You hemming and hawing, you're dragging your foot. So David was supposed to hurry up and get the battle. If he could, guess what? Would he have? Because we know the account. We're not gonna get into it. Would he have seen Bathsheba bathing if he had just been at battle? Here, your men. Nobody's at home with their wives, dealing with their wives. They're not getting no pleasure. They're warring. Here you are, the king, chilling in the crib. Ah, man, it's good to be king of the castle, king of the castle. But that's us in this truth, man. We can't be maxing and relaxing while other brothers is putting their hands to the plow and warring. Right. Now give me some. Let me see it real quick. Hold up. Bear with me. Make sure that's what I want.
That's for Ecclesiastic chapter 2 verse 4. That framing to all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Now read Sirach 2 and verse 5 now. Right.
Sirach 2 verse 5.
Right, because we're gonna have adversities. We're gonna have situations that are gonna try us, right? But it's to refine us, right? Read.
For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Right, now give me Isaiah 48 and verse 10. Right, because what do you do with metal? Right, when you I don't know if anyone here, I used to like watching blacksmithing videos. But when you got the metal, you got to refine, you got to heat it up to get all the impurities out, all the slack out. Because if you keep it in it, your sword's going to break, right? Your car's going to break, whatever you're making, right?
Isaiah 48 verse 10. Behold, I have refined thee.
This is it. I've refined thee.
But not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
The furnace of affliction, right? Now give me Wisdom of Solomon 3 and verse 5.
Was it Solomon 3 verse 5?
Actually, start at the top. Start at the top. We're gonna read down to 11.
Verse 1. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God.
So if you're righteous, you're gonna be, God is with you, right?
And there shall no torment touch them.
Now, don't confuse this. This is because remember, we're gonna go through tribulation. Soon we are going to be going through torments. But this is talking about you're not going to have that spiritual torment. Man can do whatever to you. Take your job, your wife, your house, your kids, pull your nails, do all types of torture. He can't touch your soul. Only the Most High has that authority. Right? Read on.
Verse 2, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery.
Mm-hmm. That's that affliction. There are people with, oh man, I don't know why they're doing that Israelite shit. They're going through it. Right? Read on.
And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace.
Because we with the Father, we died. No, Christ died in peace. Right? Paul, right? You look at the deaths of all the apostles, they took it cheerfully. Why? Because they knew. Read on, we're gonna get to
Verse 4, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. Verse 5, and having been a little chastised.
You know, the Lord says a little chastised. Just a little, because man can do but so much. It's when God gives that green light, when he wants to chastise you. Woo!
They should be greatly rewarded, for God proved them and found them worthy for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And as gold in the furnace have he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering.
So it's a burnt offering. It's good in the sight of the Lord when he sees that you're about this truth so much, you're willing to die for this. I remember when I used to box, man. I legit used to have the mentality of fighting. This dude gonna have to kill me. Yeah, he hit me good. Yo, you're gonna have to kill me. If we could do that for things in this world, why can't we do that for this truth? Right? And guess what's gonna happen when we have that mentality? Read up verse 7.
In the time of their visitation, they shall shine.
So we're gonna read on.
And run to and fro like sparks among the stubble.
Read on.
They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever.
We're gonna have authority, rulership, if we suffer the furnace of affliction. Right? Read on.
Verse 9, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth.
Right? And what's truth? Someone give me the precept. What's truth?
John.
There's many.
There's many. Just say a few.
John 6:63.
Mm-hmm. Zay, you got one?
No, I don't know off the top of my head.
Right, it's good, but you know the law, the truth is the law.
Psalms
19,
Mhm.
147.
There you go. There you go. We're not gonna get it because I know I don't want a lot of time, but testing you brothers, right? Read on.
They that put their trust in him shall understand the
You're
truth,
gonna understand the law, the prophecies, right?
and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect.
Now notice it's talking about the elect, those who are gonna actually repent, do the work, right? Even though you might slip, you might fall, you might sin, you have to keep moving. Don't dwell on that sin. Don't let it stop you. Right? Don't, oh man, I'm not worthy of this, man. I can't. No, man, you got to keep pushing. You have to. Right? Bringing it back to boxing. If a boxer loses one round, does that mean he lost the fight? No, man. You're supposed to fix up. Next round, yo, man, he's throwing the hook. All right, roll it.
Mhm.
He's doing this. All right, you got to keep pushing, right? Because what's going to happen if you that brother, well, I can't do this Israelite stuff. I'm ripping my fringes off, and I'm throwing out my Bible, and I'm going back to the world.
But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despise wisdom and nurture, he is miserable.
Now notice that, because you look at the lives of these people who aren't in this truth, their lives are actually miserable. You got women, I don't want to submit to no man. I ain't wearing no dress to stand in the third. It's them they dog in a bowl of ice cream. And the next man they're gonna lie with. And the next man, and the next man, and the next man. Look at our brothers in this truth, man. They hugging the block. They're miserable. They got paranoia, right? drug addictions. At the end of the day, their lives are miserable without this law. Miserable. Doesn't matter all the Christmases they celebrate and all the money they get. What does it mean at the end of the day?
And their hope is vain. Their labors unfruitful and their works unprofitable.
Man, I knew a brother, he was in this truth, right? And he's big on business. Tried to get the business to jump off. You know what happened when he bought the building? Everything is going well. The sewage in the building backs up. They gotta sell the building.
Wow.
Your works will be unprofitable. Because what did we read earlier with Job? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands and increased his substance. You in this truth, you do stuff, the Lord's gonna, he's gonna work with you. Right? Listen, man, that's what more is there to say? You can only trust in the Lord. You can only trust in the Lord. Now give me just to prove that we're the gold, man. Now give me Lamentations 4 and verse 1.
Lamentations 4 verse 1. How was the gold become dim? How was the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out on the top of every street.
We are that gold. Israel is that gold. And guess what? We've been dimmed. We've been poured out in the we're not that sparkling, good gold. You see like the old gold, what it used to look like. Don't look like the gold today.
Pure.
Right? We're not that pure gold, man. We got impurities, iron and zinc. We got sin, right? Read on.
Verse 2. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthy pitchers?
Now we're clay.
The work of the hands of the potter.
Right. Now give me now we're gonna go back to Sirach 2. Actually, let's get it real quick. Give me Philippians 1 and verse 29.
Philippians 1 verse 29. For unto you it is given in the behalf of Christ, not only to believe on him.
So you can't just only, I believe in the Most High. This is not the Christian church. You can't just say you're an Israelite and I believe. Read on.
But also to suffer for his sake.
Read that one more time.
For unto you it is given in the behalf of Christ, not only to believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake.
Mm-hmm.
Having the same conflict which he saw in me, and now here to be in me.
So Paul suffered. You read Paul's account, he was shipwrecked, beaten, almost killed, right? Dealing with the congregation. It wasn't, it wasn't like, he was the big man on campus and everything was love. He had to suffer afflictions, right? If you know his actual story, he was killed by Emperor Nero. He was beheaded. So he suffered for this thing. We have to suffer for this thing. That's the only way we're really gonna get it. Now go back to Sirach 2. Now give me verse 6.
Sirach 2, verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help you.
Mm-hmm.
Order your way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest you fall.
Right. So hold on. Now, go not aside lest ye fall. Now give me Luke 22 and verse 3.
Luke 22, verse 3.
Go not trust in him. Right. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy and go not aside lest ye fall. Because what happens when you fall?
Luke 22, verse 3. Then entered Satan.
Then entered who?
Entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of the 12.
So when you fall, you're giving Satan leeway to enter in. Right? It's almost like what is those Exorcist movies? Right? She jump into. You're gonna spiritually be spinning your head, going every which way. Now you commit adultery, selling drugs, doing this. watching porn, you arguing with brothers, you drinking, you doing this, you doing that. And because then what happens when Satan leaves you, man, you.
Can you read verse 32?
Yeah, let's get verse 32.
Verse 32.
Actually, read verse 31, then 32.
Come on.
That's same Luke.
Luke 22, verse 31.
And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan have desired to have you.
Satan wants you to fall out this truth because you know what? You got to remember, we could say, he's evil. That's literally his role, his job. He is the tempter. Read on.
That he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for you that you fail, faith, that your faith fail not.
Got to pray for other brothers. Pray for each other.
And when you are converted, strengthen thy brethren.
Because when you fall and you pick yourself back up, you're stronger now. That's just like when you work out, you tear a muscle, right? You get those micro tears, and when the muscle builds itself back, it's stronger now. It's the same thing in this truth. Gotta be you. God, Satan desires, but you have to fight. He wants you. He wants you to follow this truth, man. He's got to fill his daily quota, right? Because what it tells you, man, 1 Peter 5:8, he's going to and fro in the earth, seeking who he may devour, right? Go back to Sirach now. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. You that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Verse 10. Look at the generations of old, and see that ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded.
Right? But did anybody ever trust the Lord and was confused? That's that saying confounded. No, you're not going to be confused. Read on.
Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
Now give me Psalms 34 and verse 9. Psalms 34 and verse 9.
Psalms 34, verse 9. Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints.
What's the song? What's the precept for saints?
Psalms 119.
No.
Psalm.
19.
No.
Oh, patience and faith of the saints. Then?
No, the saints. Psalms 148.
In Psalms 50. And Deuteronomy 33. Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him.
There is no want to them. Because guess what? Now give me Sirach 39 and verse 33. What does it mean by there's no want to them that fear him?
Sirach 39, 33. Sirach 39, verse 33. All the works of the Lord are good, and he will give every needful thing in due season.
Now, notice, he says, I will give every needful thing in due season. Not your want. Because tell the eyes wicked. Man, I want a car so bad. I want this. I want that. I want $1 million. We want so much. The Lord's going to give you what you need when it's time for it. Because guess what? If the Lord gives it to you too early, you're not going to know what to do with it. You're going to squander it. The Lord's going to give it to you when you're ready to receive it, when you're disciplined enough, right? When you're responsible enough, when you're built up in this truth. You got brothers, man, I want a wife. I need a wife. You're not ready for a wife. I want this, I want that. You're not ready for it. And there's no problem with that. You just got to keep building yourself up for it. Then the Lord in due season will give it to you, right? Give me Psalms 37. I think that's verse 24.
Psalm 37,
Mhm.
verse 24. Though he fall,
Though you fall,
he shall not be utterly cast down. For Yahweh upholdeth him with his hand.
read on.
I have been young and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
Read on.
He is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed.
So the Lord is going to exalt you. You might be low for a moment. The Lord's going to exalt you. I remember, my brothers remember when I first came in, right? I had lost my apartment. I was looking for a job. Somehow I still ate every day. Still had food, and the Lord gonna make a way for you. You honestly and earnestly keeping this truth. Then when I was prepared for it, ready for it, boom, 2 jobs came my way. Right, Joe, you get attest to this. You know, so is that you got to endure for a season, right? Read 24 verse one more time.
Verse 24.
Mhm.
Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down.
So it's not. It's a temporary setback. It's like an arrow or a rubber band. Before you shoot it, you got to pull it back so it could be propelled forward. Right. Now give me my favorite instances. Give me Job 42 and verse 12.
Job 42, verse 12. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
One more time.
For the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning.
So that's all I want on that. But at the end of it all, Job got more than what he started with. And it's because he kept the trial of his faith. He did not fall. He did not fold. Right? Go jump back to Sirach and read verse 11.
Sirach 2, verse 11.
Mhm.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering and very pitiful, and forgive sins and save in time of affliction.
Mhm.
Woe be to fearful hearts
Mhm.
and faint hands, and the sinner that go 2 ways.
Now give me Psalms 38 and read verse 12. Read verse 12. Actually, no, excuse me. Read verse 18. Right? Woe be to fearful hearts and faint
It
hands.
says Psalms 38
Mm-hmm.
and what?
18.
Psalms 38, verse 18.
This is what we're supposed to be doing. Right? If you actually have actual fear for the Lord, right? If you're a righteous man, read on.
For I declare my iniquity, I will be sorry for my sin.
Someone who's going 2 ways, a fearful heart, faint hands, you're not sorry for his sin. He might be not sorry. He might be mad he got caught, that he got found out. But you're supposed to be sorry for your sins, right? Give me now give me Luke.
38, 18.
Now give me Luke 13. Give me verse 27.
Luke 13, 27.
Yes, sir. Because here's what's gonna happen. Here's what if you're gonna be have that fearful heart, go 2 ways. Here's what's gonna happen to you at the end of the day. Right? Christ is gonna come back, Yahushua is gonna come back. You're gonna think it's all good in the hood. Right? What's up, slime? Yo, what's good, man? You think you're going, yo, how about Shem Yahushua rocked up, man? No, man, it's not gonna happen. Here's what's really gonna happen.
Luke 13, 27. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not whence you are.
I don't know you.
Depart from me, all you workers of iniquity.
And what's it gonna be?
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, when you shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all the prophets.
All your other brothers, they're gonna be in the kingdom. They're gonna be, and you're gonna be the only one not in. You're gonna be outside the club looking in. Read on.
And the kingdom of God, and you yourselves thrust out.
You're gonna be thrust out, cast into outer darkness. Right now, give me James 1 and 8.
James chapter 1, verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
A double mind. Read it one more time.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
So that's what it is. You're gonna be unstable. One moment, you in this truth. The next moment, you in the club. One moment, you're loving your wife. Next moment, you're watching porn. One moment, you at work doing what you're supposed to do. The next moment, you there on Saturday. And guess what? Because then you're gonna try to tell someone something, and then they're gonna call you out. The first thing that's gonna happen. You know, oh brother, you shouldn't be smoking. Brother, you sold me the weed. How are you gonna look? You're gonna be unstable. Here's what we need to remember. Give me Psalms 51. Here's what we need, because at the end of the day, we are wicked. That seed of wickedness has been embedded in us from the beginning. Right? Start at verse 2.
Psalms 51, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, you only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight.
Because when you sin, at the end of the day, you sin against the Most High. Read on.
That thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest.
Now read verse 5.
Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
So this is talking about we were all born with that sinful nature. Everyone was born with that sinful nature. Why do you think someone is a kid and you see kids, no one taught them evil, but they stealing. You confront them on it and they lie. Children do, because we have that seed of wickedness already sown in us. And that's something we got to fight, right? Go back to Sirach. Go back to Sirach, verse 13 now.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Woe to him that is faint-hearted,
Mm-hmm.
for he believeth not.
He does what?
He believeth not.
You don't believe in this truth if you faint-hearted. It's not really for you.
Therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will you do when the Lord shall visit you?
Now give me 1 Samuel 13 and 5. What happens when you lose? Because that's the thing we got to remember, man. We want things on our time. We want things on our time. We scared to do what the Lord tells us to do. Read on.
Mm-hmm. 1 Samuel 13.
Read down. I'm gonna tell you when to stop.
Verse 5. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel, 30,000 chariots and 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and pitched in Michmash, eastward from Beth-haven. And when the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in high places and in pits.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead.
So we were scared money, right? This time during the time of Saul, right? Read on.
As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling.
So you got to think about this. He's with the people, and you know our people. Saul, we're gonna die. Saul, we're gonna die. Oh man, and the Lord's forsaken us, and this, that, and the third. They forgot. Well, what did Moses have to tell the people? They are bread for us.
Yeah, fire. Watch me.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna eat these dudes, man. He forgot that. Read on.
Verse 8. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed.
Right now, remember, Samuel told him, "I'm gonna come at the set time." But at the same time, he has the people. Now, remember, Samuel was the judge, right? Or which was pretty much the high priest. God told Samuel to tell Saul, wait. We'll do the burnt offering. Because remember, before we went to battle, we would do the prayer and the burnt offering. And what happened? The Lord would fight for us. That's all he had to wait for, right? And he's not strengthening the people, telling them, oh, we got to hold fast and do this. He's giving into it. Why? Because he's seeing everyone around him fold and crumble. But remember, as is the king, so is his people. If the head falls, what's going to happen to the rest of the body?
Right.
Cut your head off, your legs ain't gonna, your arm's not gonna go to your head and pick it back up and put it on. It's done. Right? Read on.
And he tarried 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, bring here a burnt offering to me and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering.
Now, what was wrong with what he just did?
Samuel was supposed to do it.
Exactly. Samuel was the Levite. They're given the charge of the priesthood. Right? They do the temple sacrifices and they do all the sacrifices and offerings. Right? Read on.
And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering, the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came.
Now notice that as soon as he did it, if he had just waited 10 more minutes, boom, Samuel would have came. Everything would have been done in righteousness, right? He would have kept the Lord's commandment. He took it upon himself to do it. Read on.
Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him.
Hey, hey, shalom, man.
And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed.
You didn't come when I wanted you to come. That's really what he's saying. You didn't come when I wanted you to come.
And that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash.
Right? The Lord put the heat, what's that saying? You can't take the heat. Get the hell out the kitchen.
Right.
The Lord, that fire just went, that furnace of affliction. As soon as that temperature kicked up, he folded. And what happened? Read on.
And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy God, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever.
Read verse 14.
But now thy kingdom shall not continue.
You're going to be thrust out the kingdom, like it said in Luke. Read on.
The Lord have sought him a man after his own heart.
So look, if you could take whatever understanding and things he gave you and give it to the next man. Because why? That other man's going to listen. Read on.
And the Lord have commanded him to be captain over his people, because you has not kept that which the Lord commanded you.
Right. So that's why that patience is very, very strong. It's very strong. Now give me Psalms 27 and verse 14 now.
Psalms 27, 14. Psalms 27, verse 14. Wait on the Lord.
Do what?
Wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord.
Gotta wait for the Lord, man. Because guess what? Whatever you thought to do, the Lord, he's going to do what you thought to do in times of by a million. All you got to do is wait, and you're going to be exalted in due season. Right? Now give me Revelation 12 and verse 14. What does it mean to have patience? Truly, scripturally, to have patience. 14 and 12, excuse me.
Slocky, I should know that.
14, no, that's on me. So I said 12 and 14, I reversed it.
Revelation 12, verse 14. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua.
It's a two-part package. Got to do both. Right? Now give me Matthew 22 and verse 12. Remember, it said, what shall you do when the Lord visits you? What are you going to do? What are you going to have to say for yourself? Right? Give me Matthew 22 and verse 12.
Matthew 22, verse 12. And he said unto him,
Actually, start at verse 11.
Verse 11. And when the king came in to see the guest, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
Right. And what is that garment we're supposed to have on? Give me hold up, bear with me. I want to say Ephesians. What's the one in Job? Clothe myself in righteousness. Bear with me. I put on my righteousness as a garment. Nice. Lakia. Job 29:14. There you go. Job 29:14.
Isaiah 59.
This one I want right here. Job 29:14.
Job 29:14.
This is that garment you're supposed to have on in that day.
I put on righteousness and it clothed me.
It did what?
I put on righteousness and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem.
Right. So you got it. So now jump back to Matthew 22. So you got to put on righteousness. We know righteousness, Deuteronomy 6:25, right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So when he saw him without his garment, meaning he saw him in sin, right? And what read 12 one more time.
And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless.
That's what's going to happen when the Lord visits you. That's why it says, what shall you do? You're going to be speechless. You're not going to know what the dudes say, because then you might have been that person. Oh, man, the Lord's not coming back. Then when he comes back, all you can think of is all the sin you committed, right? Read verse 13 now.
Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into utter darkness.
Right?
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
That's the only thing you can do in that day. You're going to be crying, begging for mercy. But it was all given to you already. And you squandered it. You wasted it. Right? Now jump back to Sirach 2:15. Or go to 2:15, excuse me.
Sirach 2 and verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. And they that love him will keep his ways.
And that's it. You fear the Lord, you're not going to be disobedient. If you love him, you're going to keep the commandments, right? And we read that it's what? John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. Right? Very simple, right? Verse 16 now.
They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well, pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Right. Read on.
Verse 17. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, We will fall to the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
Right. Now, before we get that, right? Now, because as is his majesty, so is his mercy. Now give me Sirach 5 and go to verse 6. Because we know he has very great mercy. Right? But what does he also have? Great wrath. 5 and 6. I started verse 5 actually.
Sirach 5 verse 5. Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin, and say not his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation rests upon sinners.
So you got to remember, great is his mercy, great is his wrath, right? And we're gonna end it with this, at least the breakdown. Give me 2 Samuel 24 and 15. I'd rather fall into the hands of the Lord at the end of the day.
It's at 20.
24 and 15.
So
the Lord has mercy, right? Man don't have mercy, right? What happens? You go to jail, you do your time. You got guards beating you up, lining you up, right? That's like you get caught, you pay your tax, but they're gonna add interest, compound interest, jail time. You're gonna get the whole 9 yards. There's no mercy when you fall into the hands of men.
2 Samuel 24 verse 14. And David said unto God, I am in a great strait.
We as a people are in a great strait.
Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of men.
Right. So all this to say, right, wrap it up with this last precept. Give me Second Timothy, excuse me. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and start at verse 3. Actually, start at verse 1. We're going to just read down.
It says 2 Samuel.
2 Timothy
2 Timothy.
2 and verse 1. We're going to just read down.
Second Timothy chapter 2 from the top.
Mhm.
Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahweh,
Right? This grace, don't take advantage of it. Right? Repent. Read on.
and the things that you has heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also.
This also we could edify and wake up and teach our nation. Read on.
You therefore endure hardness.
Endure what?
Endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Hamashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier.
Right. Now hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Find this precept. Do not abuse the world. Because what does it tell? The scriptures tell us to use the world. Don't abuse it.
Corinthians 7, I believe.
Right. Bear with me. Right. If you got it.
I think it's 7:31, right?
Yeah, I think so. It just came to me. Salakia. There it is. Thank you. 7:31 the water.
That's the book of 1 Corinthians 7, verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it.
Now that's what it means. So don't abuse it. Now, obviously, we're not telling you you can't watch a movie. Don't let it consume all your time. Don't let video games consume all your time. Don't let your job consume all your time. The things of this world can't take you away from this truth. It's not supposed to take you away from this truth. Right? So now jump back to 2 Timothy, excuse me.
2 Timothy, verse 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned, except he strive lawfully.
Strive lawfully, not of your own mind, right? You got brothers, they want to go into other doctrines and research this and research that. You can only do this through this Bible. Read the next verse.
Verse 6, the husbandman that laboreth,
The farmer, right? That's what husbandman means, right? You till and you work the land,
must be first partaker of the fruits.
right? So that's what we got to, especially as we have the Feast of First Fruits coming up, right? You want to be a partaker in those fruits. You want to be the first fruits, right? When the first, what does it say? Blessed is he that have part in the first resurrection. You don't want to be in that second one because that's the resurrection to destruction, right? So with that, we're going to close out, giving all honor and praises to the Most High God, Yahweh, and His Son, Yahweh Shah, right? Keep enduring, keep the faith. Shalom, Israel. Enjoy your Sabbath. Keep it holy. That's it, man. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.